everybody.
All right. Let me switch over to comments and we'll get started here real quick. All right. So we ready?
Yep.
What are we doing?
On this episode of the Culturesmash cast,
Fantastic forecasting has taken the world by storm.
It's webbing time.
And Disney kicks its home market down the road to Sony.
it's the Culturesmash cast, episode 643 for February the 21st, 2024. I'm Stephen Lackey, editor of the Culturesmash cast. And Nico?
Nicholas Qualls, contributor to Culturesmash Cast.
Tina?
Tina Qualls, contributor to Culturesmash Cast.
Dumbass?
Webbing, and then I webbed all over the place.
Perfect. Something like that. All right. How's everybody doing?
Pretty good.
Let me knock this out real quick and we'll catch up. Join us every Wednesday night live on YouTube, Twitch, and YouTube and Twitch now. I think is pretty much it. That's it. I took the other stuff off. So we're at 6:15 CST or later, sometimes 6:30. It just depends on how long it takes me to get the script done and them to bring the dog in. So follow us on your platform of choice. Jump in the chat and interact with us live every Wednesday. You should do it. Why wouldn't you? Special thanks to Skinny Mixes for supporting the Culturesmash cast. Skinny Mixes are coffee and dessert syrups that are 0 sugar, 0 calorie, and 0 to 2 carbs. Head on over to skinnymixes.com and try some of their delicious syrups, such as the white chocolate and salted dark chocolate and salted caramel. And the variety of cocktail mixes they offer, including margarita and other fruit flavors. Use promo code Culturesmash for 15% discount on your order. As always, if you spend $50, you get free shipping too. So why wouldn't you do that? All right. So what have you guys been up to? We haven't seen each other in about 2 weeks.
Yeah. What do we do?
I've been reading a shit ton.
Yeah, reading is most of it.
I'm almost at 40 books so far this year.
Damn. Real quick, what's up to Austin in the chat right now? How you doing, buddy?
Yep. Reading mostly. I am actually up to date on at least one anime series, at least, which is called Delicious in Dungeon, which is a lot of fun. It is basically Dungeons and Dragons, the anime, except you kill your monsters to then eat them, to cook them.
All right.
Very high culinary fashion.
I like it in high culinary fashion. I respect that. Tina, what about you?
Yeah, just reading, working, and making sure she doesn't kill herself by jumping off of high up things. She's actually been prone to do that now.
Yeah.
That's funny. I have to do the same thing for Zach when we hang out.
Wait, what?
What's up to Kiwi Slays in the chat? Welcome. We're going to talk about cool stuff. We really only have 3 full stories this week, but these are really good, meaty stories, fun to talk about. All right, Zach, what about you, sir?
I went and saw a movie.
Yeah?
You were there.
I was there. I was in attendance.
Yeah.
And we literally forgot the movie until we had to look at it.
The director was there.
That's the movie we forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah. It feels like it was like months ago, though. But it was literally just 2 weeks.
It feels like literally a month ago.
So the movie was Sometimes I Think About Dying. And this is the movie. If you were on the fence about this before, this is the movie that proves Daisy Ridley's a great actor.
Yeah, she's just given bad material most of the time.
She disappears in this movie, and she's so good. Like, I fell in love with this movie. It's a top 10 contender, honestly, for me. It's a small little character study. Not anything heavy plot wise. It's really just like I said, a character.
It's a
study.
week in the life of this very introverted lady.
It's an interesting observation about depression, honestly, and how people deal with it in different ways. So it's really, really good. I know that doesn't sell it. Just go look it up. Look up the trailer. It's coming from Oscilloscope, which is an interesting kind of art label. So they've got that whole vibe going. And we were lucky enough to have the director in attendance to do a Q&A after. It was amazing. And it was actually a worthwhile Q&A. I mean, the last time we did a Q&A with a director, it was like the most boring. Well, the movie was bad to begin with.
The movie wasn't great, but then you'd ask the director, like, so what was your inspiration for writing this character, and then he would take that and immediately pivot to. So yeah, we would just focus on these doors. Like we really wanted the architecture of the room to really be about, this kind of Art Deco, kind of look, and the color was so important. You're like, this isn't even the fucking question.
Yeah,
I
you're
asked.
sitting there thinking, I'm hungry. I mean, should I stay here or
It was
go eat?
45 minutes too.
Yeah. But this one, the new one we just went to, was really interesting sort of discussion about how the film is perceived by people and how the director uh, really prefers to hear how people perceive it than what she meant by it, which is kind of cool. But it's based on a play, and what I will say that made me very happy is I didn't know it was based on a play. Half the time when I see movies that are based on plays, you can tell,
Like The Whale.
like Fences.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a really good movie. So that was cool. That was cool. And we'll get to some other not so cool things that I've seen when we do the top 10.
Kiwi Slays says, I watched Thanksgiving. It was cool. Not the best movie, but I enjoyed. That's just me, though.
Pretty fair assessment.
I don't know. I agree.
Yeah.
It's a bad movie, but
fun.
I liked it.
Especially the first half hour.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit, the first half hour is great. All right, so let's just jump right in then. We'll jump into we've got some cool stories to talk about. Number 10 over the weekend, I'm doing my best here. I had a cavity filled the other day, and they numbed the side of my mouth, right? Everything went great until the feeling came back, and I realized that I'd probably almost bitten a part of my tongue off, and it still hurt. It's
so
still
you're
I had a similar thing when I went to the dentist
once.
In the inside of my cheek, and I chewed the crap out of it.
Yeah, so I'm struggling to talk a little bit because it's just still hurting.
I ain't never had that happen.
Oh shit, it's easy to do, man. It sucks. All right, so number 10 was Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom.
No, it's not.
What?
No.
Oh shit, I don't have the right list.
That's right. Number
Fuck
10
me.
was Land of Bad. It made $1.6 million. It's its opening week. It's made $1.8 million so far. Steven.
Okay, so I saw Land of Bad. It stars Russell Crowe and a bunch of people you don't know. I've
never heard of this.
I have not heard of it either, but it has Russell Crowe. It's a war movie, and it fit my time slot at the theater. And I was gonna see the Bob Marley movie, but it did not fit my time slot because I was there to see Madam Web and whatever else I could fit. So Land of Bad is, I think my best description is it's a dad movie. It feels like a war movie you watch with your dad because it's got the machismo of it and stuff. But it's not that bad. It's one of those movies that's not terrible, but it's not like amazing because you don't have that super charismatic person that's dragging it along. I know Russell Crowe's a good actor, but he's not the main guy in this movie. He's not the guy in the war. It would be kind of weird because he can't do that now. But it's a just fine 3 out of 5 one-time watch that I had a decent time with, but I'll probably forget about it in 6 months. It's kind of like that movie from last year, Covenant. It reminds me of The Covenant. Not a terrible movie, but not a great movie. It's fine. If you want a war movie and you've got time to kill, then go watch it. It's fine. All right. That's all I got to say about that.
Number 9, Lisa Frankenstein. Made $2 million this week. It's made $7.7 million in its 2-week run so far. Oh my gosh, somebody else is here has seen this as well.
Oh shit. How about that? I saw this movie also. So here's the thing about Lisa Frankenstein. It's weird. I've been seeing so much like love for this movie. They're like, oh, it's the second coming of Tim Burton.
I've heard very mixed things.
And it's written by Diablo Cody, and you either like her style or you don't. And I had such a weird reaction to it because I normally don't like her style. It's like too clever. It's just too much, you know? But this movie to me felt restrained. Like it wanted to go Tim Burton. It kind of wanted to do that thing, but it never fully went for it. Like it wasn't quite weird enough. It wasn't quite clever enough. It wasn't quite funny enough. I don't understand the love for it, to be honest. It's okay. I think I gave it a 2.5 out of 5.
Yeah.
You know, and that's literally what I feel. It's half a good movie.
Well,
Continue.
I guess it's got to be better than our number 8 slot. Anyone But You. That's $2.4 million it made this weekend. $84.7 million it's made. Fuck all of y'all for seeing this.
I didn't see that one yet.
Right, well, something
Continue.
you did see was number 7, The Beekeeper. It made $3 million. It's made $59 million.
Yeah, we already talked about that one. That's another 2.5 out of 5 for me.
Well, number 6 is Wonka.
I didn't see that one. I didn't see it.
It made $3.5 million this weekend. It's made $209 million. Damn. I'm so glad I made that purchase in Film Ball because that was the right
That
pick.
won you the game.
Oh, yeah. When's that trophy going to get here?
It'll be here next week.
Hell yeah.
Mhm.
Number 5 is a weird one. The Chosen, Season 4, Episodes 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, they just squished those episodes together to make one film, which is...
Yeah, last show we talked about when they did 1 through 3. Something also interesting, Zach, you're doing the strict weekend. If you factor in the holiday box office, so President's Day including on Monday.
Are we doing the President's Day as well?
I'm just saying, we don't have to. Doing this is fine.
Continue how you're doing it.
Okay.
Is that if you do Wonka and Chosen switch places, everything else is the same, but Wonka apparently got a President's Day bump.
It's the hats.
Yo, it's not
It's the
that.
hats. Yeah.
I was about to say it's only $100,000 difference between the two.
Yeah.
In the chat, Austin said he saw the Beekeeper. Austin, tell me what you thought of it. Put it in the chat and I'll read it. Continue.
Anyway, it made for the weekend it made $3.6 million. It's made $4.3 million. Because I guess there's just that big of a fan base for this show, I guess.
Or it's such a shitty time for movies, they'll throw anything on the screen that'll make more than $1 million bucks.
Number 4 is Migration. Made $3.8 million. It's made $114 million. Burbs.
Yep.
Number 3, speaking of birds, because this movie's for the birds, Argyle made $4.8 million. It's made $36 million.
We talked about this one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought we went over this already. What a bad movie it is.
It's a bad, bad, bad movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it made Tina mad, which I think is pretty great.
Well, speaking of a bad, bad, bad movie, number 2, new this week, Madam Web. It made $15 million. It's grossed $23 million. Steven, you decided to lay on this grenade.
I saw this movie. I had been hearing that it was so bad it was good. Like it was fun to watch. You could laugh at it, whatever. It's not. It's not that. It's there's this line you have to cross to be so bad that it's good, and it never quite crosses it in a way that makes it funny. I was just fully annoyed by this movie, and there's literally not one redeeming thing about it that I can say. I was looking for a good thing to say, right? The dialogue is bad. The acting is bad. I never thought that Dakota Johnson was a good actor to begin with. I don't understand.
I was about to say she's
Kind of the
been
hype
good
about
in
her?
Suspiria and that one scene in The Social Network.
Doesn't she have a scene in like Bad Times at the El Royale that's okay? Isn't she in that? I think she might be in that. But nothing that wouldn't be better with somebody else in it. Like I've never thought, oh my God, this is a perfect role for Dakota Johnson.
Oh yeah, she is in that.
I thought so. But she's not good in this movie at all. Here's what I respect about her, though. After the trailer was launched for this movie, immediately the next day, she fired her agent. It was very public, too. And I feel like it's one of those things where her agent saw dollar signs and roped her into it, and she's like, holy shit, what have I done? And fired the agent.
I feel like they sold her on it's a Marvel film.
Mm-hmm.
And then didn't say it's not a Marvel Cinematic Universe film. It is a Marvel film.
Right. But it's so funny because...
And no one did any fucking research to
Yeah,
double check that.
I saw an interview where one of the actresses was like, I'm so honored to finally be a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And people are like, should we tell her?
Well, you can make an argument thanks to No Way Home that the Sony films aren't now part of it and all that stuff. Still, yeah. Functionally speaking, no, they're not. And it can be really easy to not understand what you're getting into. They probably didn't notice, oh, this check says from Sony and not from Disney.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So the dialogue is bad. The dialogue is really bad. Like, but not. You know,
It's not-
weirdly, Morbius is more entertaining than this movie. And I was
Well,
thinking
yeah,
about
because it's Morbin time.
yeah, it is Morbin time. But it's Webbin time. It's Webbin time.
It doesn't have the same feel.
It does.
It's
Well,
the same
the
joke,
reason-
just shittier.
The reason Morbius is more entertaining is because one, Jared Leto's an asshole, and he's easy to laugh at. And two, he's so over the top theatrical in everything now that he's that way in Morbius, and it's just kind of laughable. This movie is not that. This is just everybody underperforming. No one is good. No, and it doesn't feel like anybody's trying. You know how you can watch a movie that's a complete failure? Like, okay, Dial of Destiny, not a good movie. But I always give a point to Harrison Ford because you could tell he's
You
really
could tell
trying.
He cared.
He's
Yeah.
really trying in the movie. He's given it his all. But this is not this. The editing is bad. The little bit of action that's in there, which is not much, is horribly shot and cut. You can barely see it. It's
How's
terrible.
that ADR?
The ADR. Man, I thought
I've heard a very big report about this.
I thought people were overhyping the bad ADR. Oh no. Oh no. Even my blind ass was like, what? Like, I'm looking at an empty seat beside me going, what? This is fucking happening right now? It's so bad. This movie is
my
like,
favorite
okay.
thing to that is the dialogue. All the dialogue looks like seems like it's a delayed Zoom call.
Well, and it's not through the one thing I will say is it's not throughout the movie. Like the way it was said to me, the way I've been reading into it is it like, oh, this is a character in the movie. It's one scene.
Oh, it's only one scene?
It's one kind of lengthy, like minute and a half long scene.
Because I was told basically whenever this character's on screen, like pay attention because it's blatant.
But the character is like this.
Ah.
Yeah, it's very small. I mean, if it were throughout the movie in that way, it would be a great drinking game. But it's a small little section of the movie. So yeah, it's so bad. You know, this is 100%. I saw someone else. I'm not going to take credit for this, but I agree with what they said. That feels like Sony has an agreement with Marvel to maintain these characters, and within that agreement, they have to put out a project, a movie, every so many years.
Is it 5 or 6?
It's 5. Yeah, it's 5. But we know that Spider-Man is safe because it hasn't been but a couple of years. But we don't know what the secondary tiers are. Is Madam Web part of the Venom tier? And if so, maybe that one's starting to get a little bit long in the tooth. I don't know. But either way, it feels like this. It feels like another one of these where they had to actually do something to keep the rights. Except this is fun because everybody in this movie knows they're doing shit.
You just pulled that out of your ass.
Right? It's right here.
For our audio listeners, what was it that you just pulled out of your ass?
That was my bootleg of the Roger Corman Fantastic Four movie that he did for Fox. Or was it CBS? I don't remember who it was, but whoever had the rights to Fantastic Four at that time, they needed to put something out to maintain. So they made that movie. And I think that's what Madam Web is, to be honest, because there's no other reason to let this movie go out in such poor shape. Because there's nothing redeeming about it. It's a half-star movie for me because that's as low as you can go and still actually rate something.
Yeah.
In Letterboxd, you have to give it a half
So this
star.
would technically be a 0 for you.
It would be a 0 for me because there's nothing redeeming in the movie. The score
is it in focus?
Mostly.
Ooh,
There's a couple of scenes.
sad.
There's a couple of scenes I would question a little bit. Framing is bad in a couple of scenes. Lighting is not great when there's CGI. Yeah, it feels unfinished in a lot of spots. So it's bad. You could tell they had confidence in it because there's no post-credit scene. None.
Damn.
So there you go. It's shit. It's shit. And not like I would rather watch the Children of the Corn remake from last year than watch this. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would rather watch Liam Neeson's movie Blacklight again.
Oh, I need to watch that.
Then watch
I've heard
this.
that is a thing to view.
That is a movie you can laugh at for fun. I mean, I just thought the whole time I was watching it, I'm too old for this shit. I'm too old for this shit. Because he is too old for it. He's damn too old for it.
Kiwi Slays asks us, what is one Disney movie you thought that could have been better? And,
Um,
and the whole time I read that question, I went, just one?
most
I knew you were going to say that. I fucking knew you were going to say that. In my mind, I was like, I should say, what, just one and beat Zach to it.
So I guess the question
All of
specifically,
them.
are we on topic? Like one of the Disney Marvel Cinematic Universe movies? Are we just branching off into Disney?
It just says, what's one Disney movie you thought could have been better?
Well,
I mean, I think it kind of transitions us into the story. So go however you want to go.
But
yeah, I'm
hey,
gonna say
real
we're gonna
quick,
stay more focused on the MCU portion. Definitely, the majority of the current phase or past phase, however you want, everything post in game. All of those movies could have been better. We've gone on multiple times about how poorly focused and lack of oversight have gone into the post-in-game MCU world that we're currently in. So definitely, pretty much all of those could have been better. Even the ones I like could have been better.
Exactly, I agree.
For me, I'll kind of do the same thing, but not necessarily Marvel, because we know Marvel could be better. The Pixar movies that they've been putting out over the last couple of years.
Damn it! I was going to say all Pixar films from
the same
2011 to
formula
present day.
over and over and over and over again.
Yep.
All right, then I'll go all of the live action remakes of the animated classics. None of them have been very good. They could all be better.
Y'all are taking all the good films, man. Y'all
All
are taking the good picks.
good answers for you. The only thing I think on that one is they stumbled on a pretty good idea with Maleficent. Like it is
a retelling, but in a different, like
functionally,
not your average. Oh, Maleficent is the bad guy. Here's Maleficent as like a true mother figure.
Well, I think part of the reason why it works is because it's additive. It's a new take.
Yeah.
It's not let's just do the same exact movie we did before.
It's not a scene reshoot like the fucking Lion King.
I don't know how the Lion
or the Jungle Book or those movies.
Jungle Book
is at least improved upon things.
Mulan.
Jungle Book's a little bit different. Mulan is a different take on Mulan. It's just a bad movie.
It's not good.
Like I don't understand how The Lion King is a longer movie when it is every aspect the same movie.
But it's still longer somehow. Yeah.
Yes.
Real quick though, Bob Marley, One Love, #1, 28 million, $46 million total. Did not expect it to make that much.
Good job, Zach.
People are desperate for something to watch, and the thing that I've heard about that movie is that it's very bullet point-ish. Like it just hits the points and moves on. It's not like any deep narrative that you can sink your teeth into, which is unfortunate because I want to see it. I'm curious about his story.
I'm
want to
just
see
happy
it
to not have to see that trailer again.
Well, and that may be problematic that it's directed by his son because you need to be able to separate yourself from that, you know? I'm going to see it, though. I still want to know. Let's see. I heard the Children of the Corn remake was terrible. It is terrible.
Boy, it is.
But it's terrible and kind of wonderful. That's the kind of movie you can drink and laugh to.
You weirdly a lot of alcohol, though.
I don't know. I didn't have any alcohol in the theater, and I was sitting in there with 6 other people, and I was the only one laughing at everything.
I remember stopping the film and making a drink and being like, all right, let's get this over with. Like, it was just bad. Mm-hmm. It was so bad.
All right, so if you want to see a movie this week, it is a shitty week. Ordinary Angels is 82% Rotten Tomatoes, but there's only 28 reviews, so I don't buy that. I think that'll go down. And there is one movie that I want to see. This is something I kind of anticipate, is Drive Away Dolls. It's at 72% Rotten Tomatoes.
It looks fun.
Yeah, I'm kind of hyped to see that one. That I'll definitely be seeing this weekend.
You just want to see a Coen Brothers movie.
Well, it's not even a Coen Brothers. It's a Coen.
It's just Ethan.
It's just Ethan.
You see the trailer, or at least an ad I've seen online that says from the Coen Brothers, and then it crosses out the to A, and then brother. And I'm like,
I love that they put their tongue in their cheek that way. No, what I want to see is a lesbian revenge movie with Ed Harris acting crazy in it. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, I need that film in my life.
Yeah, so I'm seeing that for sure. We won't be seeing it this weekend, though, because...
Belcourt at least played the trailer, which means it's happening.
Yep.
Okay?
But
it's happening.
This weekend, Sunday, you want to talk about what we're doing Sunday, sir?
So you've heard of the 12 Hours of Terror. Where we watch 12 hours of horror films. We're going to watch 9 hours of Oscar films in a row. Our house is doing all 3 blocks of short films of animation, live action, documentary. But unfortunately, there's a 2.5 hour gap in between one of those blocks.
So we're like, let's see another movie. We're there.
So we're going to see
The new Wim Wenders movie.
Yeah, I've never seen a Wim Wenders film. Perfect Days in between, and that's nominated for Best International Feature.
Mm-hmm. Which I really wanted to see this movie anyway. But the problem I think with this movie for us is going to be it's meditative.
we're going to have ADD from switching short films.
Yeah, and then we're going to go. It's going to be great.
I mean, it starts at like almost noon, and it goes
11:35 is the first showing,
yeah.
and then like close to 10 o'clock for the last showing. So we're going to be there all day Sunday.
All day, baby. 30. You better believe when I slap that $36 down, I'm getting my money's worth.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we've already talked about Madam Web. So let's talk real quick about the Deadpool and Wolverine trailer. That was a big thing that happened.
That was a thing. Oh yeah, the Super Bowl was a thing. Apparently,
the Super Bowl was a thing that happened.
Some people watched it. I haven't seen.
Some people don't care about the Super Bowl, but I did see the Deadpool Wolverine trailer. What did you guys think of it?
It's Deadpool.
I think it looks fun. It looks like a Deadpool movie, so
it looks fine. I think it does the job it's intending to do on making sure everyone knows we're bringing Deadpool into the MCU. Like, it is ad nauseum. That is what this trailer's intent is, and we get it. So, okay, I hope. I
did. As we were watching the trailer, I did turn to Nico and I was like, "Dear God, we actually have to fucking watch Loki season 2 now."
I'm curious about how much that's actually going to be the case. I was a little tired of that being emphasized so much, but I get why they're doing it. Hopefully, that's downplayed in trailers as we get further along. I am a little surprised with how, given the fact that Wolverine is a title character, it is Deadpool and Wolverine, that you only get like that one quick back shot of Wolverine. That's
you
it.
get like 0.2 seconds of his silhouette.
I'm sure later trailers will be more equalized to have more of them, but it was surprising that they undersold Wolverine, despite this trailer is the announcement of the title. Like, up until then, it's been like Deadpool 3 is what it's been called. So this is what we now know it to be, is Deadpool and Wolverine, and there's hardly any Wolverine.
So from my perspective, when we're talking about the marketing situation, I think it's brilliant that they downplayed Wolverine. It's got people hyped now, and they'll show more of him in the next trailer, and then the movie will be here, and it's going to be the hype machine is going to be building. From a comic book fan, from someone who grew up with Marvel, this reminds me, at least in its style, of like the one shots. It's not going to be, because Marvel can't do that, but you would get those like team ups, like Spider-Man and the Human Torch, or Deadpool and Wolverine. So that's kind of cool.
I wonder if this is going to be the Deadpool gimmick going forward, because the last movie was essentially that. It was Deadpool 2, but it was Deadpool and Cable. That was pretty much them too. And this is Deadpool and Wolverine? Are they just going to be Deadpool and the Deadpool team up series?
Hold up.
Yeah, that'd be all right.
If you're listening, have the balls to do Deadpool and Spider-Man and make them kiss. Do it.
So that gets to one thing that I did want to mention, is there's been a lot of people concerned about whether Deadpool would maintain its R-rated level of...
It's very clear, yes.
My thing was about Deadpool 2, among other problems I had with it, I felt Deadpool 2 was a lot softer on that than Deadpool 1.
Yeah.
I mean, Deadpool 1, he pulled a lollipop out of his asshole. I mean, there was nothing to that extreme. Ring pop. You get my meaning.
Though that was also feedback that they got. Like, at least the trailer is putting out the idea that we know people thought 2 was a little bit more tamer, and also the fear because Disney. But no, we're going to be hardcore.
That gets to the joke that I wanted to reference. I love that it starts with the pegging joke, and it's like, pegging's not new for me, but it is for Disney.
Yep.
That's funny, and that set the tone. If that sets the tone for the movie, I'm excited. because
Like I said,
that's what I
it's
want.
gonna be fun, and that's all I really want from a Deadpool movie is I need Deadpool to be fun.
Mm-hmm. Well, and they're going to use it as a tool for resetting things, I think, and that's great too. I think they need to be resetting things, and there's a lot of Easter eggs in that trailer. The Secret Wars comic book cover, for example, that's in there. That's pretty cool. I think that's hinting at what's to come.
I think the best way to use Deadpool is this kind of Easter egg referencing, pulling and stuff, and then the rest of the MCU never touches Deadpool. Deadpool should not be in an Avengers movie. Deadpool should not be in another thing. Just Deadpool stays in his franchise and is aware of the greater franchise and riffs on it. But the moment you put this character into these tamer, more grounded, air quote, I guess, grounded franchises, it kind of doesn't work the other way.
Have a scene where him and She-Hulk are meeting up and switching notes.
That would be the only other franchise. Is like a character that's also very well known for fourth wall breaking. But
Avocado Antics in the chat says Deadpool and Wolverine is going to be amazing. All caps. And now she's dead. I agree with that. I don't think that She-Hulk thing is going to happen. I think we're pretty certain that She-Hulk is not coming back. Yeah, that is the word that is being put out there by the actress herself. So,
I like the show, but I understand the call because that cost way more than it ever should have made. It cost to make for Disney. Mm-hmm. That was ridiculous. Yeah. And yes, I would, if I were a shareholder, I would be wanting them to not do that again.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that I don't like shareholders and like managing my entertainment. Again, I liked She-Hulk, but it was way too costly. If they could figure out how to make it cheaper and more self-contained, maybe, but no.
Agree. Well, and there's a place that I would like to see her come back if they want to bring her back is maybe bring her back in the Fantastic Four universe because I always like She-Hulk in the FF. So, and we're going to talk about that in a minute, but let's move on to our stories and then see what's what.
All right. Variety brings us this story. Disney's home media production, distribution, and marketing of new releases and catalog titles in the US and Canada. We're talking their DVD and Blu-ray business is outsourced to Sony Pictures Entertainment. Disney will continue its digital media like video on demand and Disney Plus. No stated impact on theatrical distribution. They are just going to be booting all Blu-ray and DVD production and sales over to Sony. Supposedly, according to Disney, they claim that this licensing deal allows them to better respond to consumer demand more efficiently. Some numbers that Variety gives us on the home media decline, courtesy of DEG, the Digital Entertainment Group, shows revenue for physical media sales in the first half of 2022 to the first half of 2023 dropped 28%, and likely expecting the 2024 year to drop below 1 billion for the first time since it's been over $1 billion. And we've also seen big box retailer Best Buy stop doing home media sales, Netflix DVD by mail service. So Disney is definitely looking at this and thinking, well, we could not worry about this side of the business. We'll just pay somebody else to do it, or let somebody pay us.
So I'm stuck with March of the Penguins.
This also, that's Disney. Tina has that from a Netflix subscription. This also means a different story cited this. Disney is closing its 2-decade-old Disney Movie Club subscription service and online store, where you could go get physical media from their library, usually probably at a higher markup, but they had it.
So I have some interesting input from this perspective because I'm a Disney Movie Club member. And this was so interesting how all this happened yesterday. Because before they announced anything about Sony, before those stories came out, DMC members got a notification in email that it was over, that they were ending the Disney Movie Club with no additional explanation. People in the physical media community on social media, different social media platforms, mostly Instagram and TikTok, lost their minds because everyone thought, well, okay, this is the end, because Disney last year Disney shut down their.
They said we're not interested in doing any more physical media. We're going to not
Well,
maybe
but
do
last year
4Ks.
hang on. Last year they actually shut down their physical media distribution in Australia, for example. They cut it off. It stopped. There's no physical media as of middle of last year in Australia from Disney. So it just started to grow. And then what you said, they started to say those things and put the word out there. And then yesterday they announced that if you're a movie club member, you have till May the 20th to put orders in, and if you want to order stuff. And they did some other things, like if it was kind of like the old Columbia House thing, where when you sign up you get a bunch of movies for really cheap, and then you have to buy so many movies to complete your part of the contract. Well, wherever you were in that contract got ended yesterday. Everybody became a VIP member, even if you'd only bought one movie
Holy shit.
from signing up, right?
Okay.
And I had one friend yesterday morning when this came out, he had canceled his Disney Movie Club account. Every time he hits the maximum purchases, he cancels his account and sets it up again so that he can get the movies. So yesterday morning when that announcement came on, he's like, I'm setting my account back up. He set his account back up, got 6 movies for $1 plus shipping, and then they closed the site down for a while yesterday, because I think a lot of people were doing that, and now you can't go and sign up at all for an account. If you're not already a member, it's too bad. So that all happened, and it was terrifying, because we're like, holy shit, this is the end of Disney movies on physical media. And then the Sony announcement came out, and I actually think this is a good thing for us, because Disney physical media has never been what I would call premium.
No, even if you put limited edition or ultra edition on your box, even if it's the standard fucking edition, it doesn't make it premium. That always irked me. Ultimate Collector's Edition on
and it's
every version.
Just a reprint of what you had previously, or even like their premium, like top end movies that are on 4K. I always thought, even the Star Wars movies, I'm like, they look good, but could that HDR be better implemented? Could those colors pop?
Avatar was the first fucking Blu-ray 100 they did. Avatar Way of Water was the first BD 100.
Now, meanwhile,
which means you're compressing the Avengers Endgame 3-hour movie into a BD 66.
Yeah,
what
exactly.
the fuck?
So, meanwhile, Sony, as far as big studios go, is probably one of the most consistently great physical media makers. Their movies look good.
Yes,
their HDR looks good. They use nice big discs. So to start getting these movies, these Disney movies, put out by Sony, can you imagine what they could do with the Fox movies that we haven't seen yet?
Oh, give them a proper release? Yes, one of each, please.
So this actually it's a contraction, but for quality, I think it's an improvement. Now, it makes sense for Sony also because they still make the TVs and the players. So it's an ecosystem that they want to keep alive. Even if it's more niche, they have more invested than just the movies. So it makes sense that Sony would be the one to do this. So I personally am pretty hype about it. Now, what happens to those deep cut Disney exclusive movies? I don't know.
TBD.
I don't know if they're going to be putting those out. So a lot of us, like me, for example, my total purchase from the Disney Movie Club today was $410. I bought a lot of shit.
I need to get your job so I can just buy that much Disney shit.
Well, okay, so here's part of it. $66 of it was not for me. This was for Zach and Dalton.
Yeah.
And then...
Well, you look, when you lower the price of certain things...
Yeah, see, if you're a Disney Movie Club member, you can get like the Aliens release and the True Lies and the Abyss 4Ks that are pre-orders for. You can get those for $12. So
$12 for a brand new 4K.
Yeah, and
that's going for $25 to $30 anywhere else.
30 to 35, more like.
Yeah.
So
yeah, sign me up.
A lot of their other stuff, since they've announced that they're closing. Member price for like The Favorite, a movie I've been wanting for a long time, $5 for the Blu-ray.
Oh, that's a good movie.
Yeah, The Last Duel, which is a really underappreciated Ridley Scott 4K, that thing stayed at like $27 to $30 consistently, and I wanted it, but not for that money. Oh, $10 if you're a Disney Movie Club member. So Ada and I just said, "Fuck it, let's go," and we dropped $345 between us on stuff and got a bunch of movies ordered, including all these pre-orders, because you have till May 20th, and then it's going to shut down, and you know that Sony will begin with new releases and work their way back through premium Disney, and then maybe eventually in a few years we get some of these older releases, but who knows? Who knows? So yeah, it's a big story. It's a big deal. And I hope it's for the better. But
I really was curious about. You answered exactly what I wanted to know on this one, which was like when I read the story, I'm not as familiar of like Sony quality versus Disney quality, and that's exactly what I wanted to know. If it looks like at the very least we're going to get quality releases from at least track record of Sony, which is good.
Would put Disney probably near the bottom.
With that thought process, it does make a lot of sense. And especially when you mentioned about Sony wanting to stay in the ecosystem of being the home entertainment market of like, we make the TVs, we make the Blu-ray players, we make Blu-ray, it is our thing. It is like, we want to continue making sure that this is a thing and we want to be in this game. And like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense for Disney to kick this over to Sony's side.
I remember when 4K first started, a lot of the first run of 4Ks were upscales. And it came out, The Shallows is coming out, an actual 4K. And that movie still looks good. The Shallows, the color grading, everything is beautiful. And that's an old 4K. That was my first 4K purchase, I think, and Sony release. So
mine was 2 Sony titles. Yeah, Labyrinth and Crouching Tiger.
I was going to say Crouching Tiger. Yeah, because that was the movie that you brought over here to calibrate my TV and stuff when I bought the player.
So yeah, what the licensing agreement is, because I wonder how much of it is like pure money and how much of it is like, all right, Sony, you can have our home video market if you just give us back Spider-Man.
I think they would do it. I think they would probably do it.
So who would you think has the best in terms of quality 4K Blu-rays?
Sony. I think Sony is the best.
Second Sight?
Oh, you're talking about including boutiques?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Probably Second Sight, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, no boutiques.
Sony.
Yeah.
Sony, for sure. Yeah. Sony, and then maybe like Universal. Universal's pretty good, but they're not consistent. It depends on the movie.
Warner's is pretty good.
Warner's depending on the movie.
It's dependent upon source.
But the good news is the pipeline still exists. Everything is good because Sony will start putting out Disney movies, and then they'll still do exclusive steelbooks at Walmart. We just have to go to Walmart instead of Best Buy now, and that sucks. Because I hate Walmart. But
man, I gotta go to Walmart.
Yeah,
you can go online.
You can go online. It's true. Yes, Avocado's like, holy fuck, $410.
Look, decisions had to be made.
Yeah, I mean, some of these movies are not going to get reissued by Sony. They are too small. They are too niche. You know, it's just not going to happen. So we had to grab them up. So whip out the credit cards, go into debt, get some movies. It's going to be the biggest single haul I've ever made in my entire life. So there you go.
Yeah, but the content.
Baby. We're going to do so many TikToks. All right, moving on. Next story.
All right, Marvel Studios has found its Fantastic Four. Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Ebon Moss-Bachrach, and Joseph Quinn will star as the heroes in The Fantastic Four. Pascal was previously reported to star as Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, in the feature, while the others have been heavily rumored in recent months. Kirby will star as Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman, while Joseph Quinn will play her brother, Johnny Storm, a.k.a. the Human Torch. Moss-Bachrach will star as Ben Grimm, the Thing. The casting caps years of speculation over who might play the team. The film now has a new release date of July 25th, 2025, and hails from WandaVision director Matt Shakman. Jeff Kaplan and Ian Springer penned a draft of the script, with Avatar: The Way of Water scribe Josh Friedman working on a version as well. Marvel announced the news early Wednesday in a Valentine's Day Instagram message to fans. At the same time, Disney revealed the new release date and a tweet title change. It was previously known as Fantastic Four, now with a V. Pushing back the film from early May to July isn't a surprise considering the cast hadn't been finalized until now, but Marvel isn't giving up on the Prime May weekend date, which is considered the start of the summer box office season. It's now swapped its dates with the anti-hero-centric Thunderbolts, which now opens in theaters May 5th. Marvel's two other 2025 films, Captain America: Brave New World, is February 14th, and Blade is November 7th, remain where they were. The Fantastic Four, has been among Marvel's more anticipated films, perhaps because its team has never been done justice on the big screen. A few years ago, we got the 2015 revival, which did not do well. Before that, 2005, 2007 saw, the Jessica Alba, Chris Evans, Michael Chiklis, Grufford. Then there was the 1994 one before that. But now, as Disney has acquired Fox, it has opened the door for Fantastic Four to enter the MCU. So, yeah.
Okay. So one of the things I think is, if you go online and see the artwork,
very 60s.
Very kind of 60s inspired artwork drawing of the cast.
Specifically, the life issue that Ben Grimes is reading.
Grim.
Yeah.
God
Grim.
darn.
Listen, we're having a Walking Dead Fantastic Four. It's called the Fantastic Dead.
But it's a reminiscent of, I think, one with like LBJ on the cover.
Yeah, it is literally like that particular issue.
So
what it's referencing.
So I think it would be really awesome for this to be a period piece story. I don't care if it's in the existing MCU or of a side universe it's going to be merged in. However that works, I don't care about that. I can
see it being. It starts out in the 60s for like the first 20 minutes. They get lost in maybe like a time space pocket, and then they emerge into the current MCU.
That's what I think is going to happen.
That's what they're doing.
I would love for the majority of this movie to be a period piece 60s. I think it would be so different, a breath of fresh air. It's the kind of what I just imagined the Fantastic Four would super science kind of thing to work in.
Yeah, but then they'll pull a Captain America and
that's what I don't want. I don't want that.
They're going to bring him into the future regardless.
I know they will. I just don't know how it's going to work out yet. I will admit, because like Tina mentioned, Pedro Pascal had been rumored for the Reed Richards role for weeks, maybe a couple months at this point, and I was not digging that rumor. Not because I don't like Pedro, but he's overexposed. We've got one. He was in Wonder Woman. He is the Mandalorian. He's in The Last of Us. He's
a great actor.
He's a great actor, but
I just don't see him being as scientific-y douche-waddy as Reed Richards.
I'm sure he could do it. I have no problem with his acting chops. But again, just a little bit too much overexposure. I thought he would have been a great Doctor Doom, especially since, again, just put a mask on him. He doesn't have to be on set, just like he's not for most of the time a Mandalorian. But I think he'll be fine.
However, Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, oh my God, yes.
I'm sold for that one. Yeah, Vanessa Kirby, yes.
I'm excited to see Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, just because he's not your conventionally attractive, like blonde hair, blue eyes, kind of like heartthrob. He's more of like a more rusticy kind of heartthrob.
But I think he could, especially as we saw his performance in Stranger Things, can kind of do that cocky. More that cocky, animated in terms of just enthusiasm, young adult. Like he's a teenage, he's basically a teenager. That one essentially, or I don't know what age he was. I know he's held back a few years. That kind of character, I think you can do. And Ibn Mas Barak, I apologize if I butchered that. The Bear is fantastic. He's great in it. I'm sold for him. It's like other than
that is the
Pedro. I'm all on board with this cast.
That's the one thing I wanted to say about this cast announcement is it's been a really long time in the Marvel MCU that I've looked at a cast and felt like, damn, they fucking nailed it. This cast is solid. Now, I have one issue. I don't have the big issue with Pedro Pascal that you guys have. I think he's a really good actor. I think it's somebody, and it's obvious why they did it, because he is overexposed. Everybody loves him. They love him. So it can bring people into a movie that they may not know as much about, right? And I love Vanessa Kirby. I liked Killing Eve, and we just talked about the movie about The Last Duel. She's amazing. I love her.
And I love her character in Mission Impossible. So
yeah, the issue, and I harp on this all the time. Pedro Pascal is the right age for an older Reed Richards. He's the right age. He could have the salt and pepper if his hair was like that. He's the right age. I think he's 13 or 15 years older than Vanessa Kirby.
He is, yeah.
It's like, couldn't you find somebody that would be of reasonable age to him that feels right? There's plenty of great actresses out there.
At least they are adults. It's not like how old is?
Yeah, but
it's
Vanessa
not like
Kirby's
Reed
hot.
Richards is 42 and
Yeah, she's still 35. Like, she is still solid adult. It's not like she's like mid to early 20s. So
yeah, I'm not saying that there's a realistic problem with it. I mean, shit, Ada and I are 10 years different in our ages, but it just feels like, just for a little representation of what people actually are, couldn't we get somebody that's 2 or 3 years younger or 2 or 3 years older than him? It's this idea of, we want someone to play that age, but she can't look like she's that age. And it just bothers me. I'm like, let's get a 48-year-old,
If they're going to reuse the character and continue the franchise, they don't want to get pigeonholed into this one actor and have them age.
But then do you
Pedro Pascal is that age.
Yeah,
Pedro Pascal is older.
Like Pedro,
I will say it is much more obvious that they do it to the female actors in Hollywood than they do to the male actors.
Yeah, I could agree with your point 100%. That said, I'm still entirely sold on the cast. I think Pedro, again, is the only one I would prefer, someone else, just to give. There are other actors in Hollywood. There are other people that Pedro. Yeah. I love Pedro. He's great. But still, I think he's going to do a good job. I'm really interested, though, in knowing who's going to be the bad guy. Yeah. Like, is it going to be Doom? If it's Doom's got to be a solid casting.
I am glad that they didn't give it to Fan and do John Krasinski.
Yeah. The joke that they did in
Madness.
Yeah, yes, Doctor Strange and I see Ben Mickelson, who's already got an MCU role as the Skrull, go hard in press saying, "I want to be Doctor Doom." Doctor Doom has got to be the fun villain role, because you get to just have so much good scene chewing lines, and
Doctor Doom is such a drama queen, and he lives for it, and I love it.
And who wouldn't want to play that?
Yes.
So if we're to believe the little leaky leaks that are out there, and I don't know if we are, but what I've been seeing is Javier Bardem as Galactus. That's what I've been seeing.
I've seen that one too. I think that would be great. I love that.
I think it might be too. I think it might be too early to pull out Galactus as the big bad. I'd like that to be like how they. I'm gonna get shot for this. Kind of like how they did for Silver Surfer, where they saved him for the backup. It's like, I don't want him to be the first big bad guy that they deal with.
But I also get the feeling that this isn't an origin story based on the casting that we got. I get the feeling.
Agree.
That it's like whatever world that we will live in for this Fantastic Four movie, they will have existed as the Fantastic Four. Like, there might be something quick in the beginning, and then they've been the Fantastic Four for a while. So I think, which is how I would prefer it. I don't need to know how the Fantastic Four get their powers again.
We've seen the Fantastic Four origin portrayed in film. It wasn't good, but people know the story. So there you go. And that's what I hope.
We don't want another Spider-Man origin story.
Yeah, exactly.
And we got Spider-Man without the origin story, and it worked fine.
Yeah.
And I do want to comment really quick before we move on Ebon Moss Backrack. I think that is amazing casting. Age-wise, he's right there to be the proper, kind of age to be friends with Pedro Pascal's character. And also, he's got that sort of Boston-type accent, or wherever it is he's from, that's sort of super machismo kind of thing that you would imagine from Ben Grimm. I think I think he's gonna be great. And he's a really, we know he can do all kinds of stuff because, in the Bear, he has to do a whole wide range of stuff, including being funny.
I also forgot that he was in Andor until somebody mentioned it. And then I remembered immediately the character he was in Andor, which was great. I mean, Andor itself is just great. It's like the best Disney Star Wars stuff.
It is the best. Yeah, 100%.
And he has a really good part in it. So I like his casting. I'm sold for. I am glad to be excited about MCU content again. The only real thing that's giving me pause is the schedule for 2025. Because just to recap, it is. They're still pushing for this in the summer of 2025. They're gonna have Thunderbolts in May, Cap in February, and then Blade in November. So we're going from like nothing this year. This year as a Deadpool, and I don't think anything else. And then
no, nothing else.
Yeah, one movie to 4 in 2025. It's like, dude, space it.
I would bet that Blade doesn't happen because they've lost their director, and I think they might have lost their actor.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he dipped. So
he has not officially dipped. Like there have definitely, I've seen rumor mills that he is dipping, but there's not an announcement that Mahershala Ali has departed from the Blade franchise.
He actually would be making a mistake to sit and wait too long because his name is hot right now. He's a good actor. He could be doing work. So
I think he definitely should be doing work. Like especially if this movie's going to be November 2025. Like however long it's going to take for them to get into production, he should still be doing work. But it would also be a big mistake for Marvel because Kevin Feige has talked about it at like D23 shows and things like that Mahershala Ali approached them and he's excited. And if you have a good, talented actor excited to do a project, coming to you for a project that you want done, you got to do it or you're floundering.
Yeah. Exactly.
If you don't want to do Blade, don't do Blade. Just in the project, but you can't let it flounder in this nebulous region for much longer. I would rather then go, we are pushing Blade to 2026, but here's the director. We've got the script. Here's the production schedule. Like we've got it all planned out. We're just not doing it in theaters until 2026. Like if I know,
and Mahershala Ali is not a young guy.
No, he's not. It also depends on how much of a franchise they want to do with Blade. So I don't know.
They're going to try and do at least 3. I mean, that's pretty much the standard. They're going to do at least 3 for sure, unless it fails, unless it just bombs.
Yeah.
But I want to tag on really quick to what you said, and the reason that this story and the Deadpool Wolverine I put in the script is because I have not been excited for anything Marvel since Endgame. Like I've watched stuff and I thought some things were okay, but not great. I'm cautiously optimistic about Deadpool Wolverine, and this casting, although I do have one reservation about it, is pretty solid.
Who's writing the script?
So I'm kind of excited about this too. So it's pretty cool, like you said, to be excited about some next phase of Marvel things. Yeah, it's really early on the Fantastic Four, but I'm hoping that they've had a good enough story pitched to these, because these are all really great actors, that they got on board because they've got a great story. I can only hope. But I'm cautiously optimistic about these movies, and it feels good to at least be hopeful, Oh
no!
What?
From the writer of Avatar: The Way of Water, Terminator: Dark Fate.
Terminator: Dark Fate is decent. I liked
War of the Worlds 2005.
Was that the one with Tom Cruise?
Yeah,
I like that one.
Yeah,
okay,
made a lot of money.
I think that movie is overhated. I'm going to be straight up about it. I think that War of the Worlds is overhated. I feel like because Steven Spielberg directed it, had too much of a saccharine ending to it. But I think generally I had a good time with that movie.
One thing I actually find kind of interesting with this whole thing is like the director is the guy. He's from one of the shows, WandaVision, and that may not sound encouraging, but some of the MCU movies lately have been, let's get this kind of novelty, prestige-esque, like kind of hot in the pop culture director right now. Kind of like what
Yeah,
happened
like-
with Eternals.
Yeah.
Eternals got
Chloe's
Chloe
out.
Zhao, fresh off the Oscars, and that movie was bland as fuck.
And I will say
Yeah.
this, like each one of those movies that we've listed, War of the Worlds, Avatar, what was the other one?
Oh shit!
Um,
All right, you guys, we got to move on.
yeah, but
They're all
I'm just
sciencey, and this is what we need. We need a good sciencey director.
but my only, I'll finish my comment, then I'm good for moving on, is that they were going for someone that has worked in the house already and is probably more of a house style guy. It's like, we want you to do this movie, do it the way we want you to do it, and it will probably be easier to work with inside the system.
And I hate that because I miss the days of Jon Favreau.
Yep.
Yeah, it sounds, well, the thing is, Jon Favreau built the system. So the system that we got for the first 3 phases of the MCU, everyone worked inside. Jon Favreau worked inside it because he designed it. And
Yeah, but if you look at Iron Man, you look at Captain America: The First Avenger, you look at Civil War. You had directors on those films that were directors. They actually had a vision, but we've gotten away from that. I don't like the workhorse thing. I want them to let a creator create.
The Russo brothers are the people to hold up on this. When we look at all of their post MCU content, is garbage.
No, I agree, but they did quality Marvel
but the question is how much of it is them and how much is also the system. And how much of it is working inside the MCU system?
Well, okay, so look at the if we get right to the I know we got to move on, but if you look at like the action scenes in Civil War or in Winter Soldier compared to Shang-Chi,
Yeah.
they did it better. They did it. I know you hate it, but they did it better.
I was about to say, it's like, as bad as they were, I'd rather have them over Shang-Chi.
Yeah,
That's fair.
and most other Marvel movies that weren't them. You know?
Action scenes, sure. I think that could be done better. I agree, but I'm talking about like just the general overall quality of how bland a lot of the post MCU movies have been. And
I mean, it would be interesting to me if the Fantastic Four set in the '60s, get somebody as a director who's got like an aesthetic of that era.
Like the director of WandaVision.
Yeah, but that was plasticky. It wasn't real.
That's what you're getting.
I know.
Here's a twist,
I
but
know.
get Martin Scorsese.
Well, I will backstep on my point to actually strengthen yours. That is what they did with Captain America, the first Avenger, because they got. It's like, hey, let's make this movie kind of feel like The Rocketeer. Well, why don't we get the director of The Rocketeer?
Get the director of The Rocketeer.
And
Yeah, exactly.
I like The Winter Soldier. It is a fine movie. It's a great movie, fantastic movie. Probably quality level the best MCU movie.
But aesthetically,
I love First Avenger because
Yeah,
it is
aesthetically,
aesthetically
First
what I
Avenger
want
is
out of
Captain
Captain America.
Agree. And
All right.
I just wish we could do that, but we got to move on. I'm running late here.
Yeah.
All right, Zach's story is going to be pretty quick though.
Yeah, so the Oscars has introduced a new category for the first time in 20 years. Crazy. It will
And
roll
it's
out
not
at the 2026. What?
And it's not stunts.
It's not stunts.
Yeah.
Thank you for stealing my thunder, asshole. Anyway, the category will roll out at the 2026 Oscars. That's right. Best casting director. Quote, casting directors play an essential role in filmmaking, and as the Academy evolves, we are proud to add casting to the disciplines that we recognize and celebrate, CEO Bill Kramer said. So the casting directors brand established in 2023 responded to the news, calling it a deserved acknowledgement. Meanwhile, the director of John Wick 4, Chad Stahelski, also had been continuing his petition to reward those in the stunt department. Quote, we've been meeting with members of the Academy and actually having these conversations, and to be honest, it's been nothing, but it's been incredibly positive, incredibly instructional. So yeah, stunt performers on Suicide Watch, I guess, while casting directors are finally getting recognized.
Well,
I have an opinion.
I think you were a bit disingenuous in the quote. So he said, we've been meeting with members of the Academy and actually having these conversations. And to be honest, it's nothing but incredibly positive, incredibly instructional. Everybody on both sides wants this to happen. They want stunts at the Oscars. It's going to happen. So he was optimistic. I still wish he was stunts, though.
Yeah. I'm
Yes.
sorry. Sometimes the casting, granted, I'm not a casting director, but sometimes the casting, when I'm watching a movie, it feels like, oh, they just got whoever said yes first.
Well, I know
Well, and to be real, that would not be the casting director that would win.
it definitely is, though. You get the feeling of like people going, I want credit for getting the best actor, best actress. And it's like I get that it is a very difficult position casting people, but their years in more of a public eye has been the conversation about getting stunts in its own category.
Okay, all right. So let me play devil's advocate. The first thing is, and what you just said is absolutely part of the issue. Is it's been in the public eye that we need stunts as an award. My thing, I do a video on this every year. The Oscars is not about what the public thinks. It's a peer-to-peer award ceremony that we get the privilege of watching. So what we want really matters little inside. I mean, the only people that really care what we think are the TV network, because they want us to watch, and that's the conflict that happens. I agree on the stunt thing. I do think that there should be a category for stunt, but I also think the stunt situation is being treated kind of like horror movies get treated by the Oscars. They just don't get taken seriously.
Yeah.
When you look at the casting director, that person is tied directly to a best acting award for the actor, or best female acting, or male acting, or supporting acting. They help make that happen. I think this is a necessary addition. Now, should we have gotten it before stunt? I don't know. But again, remember that at the core, the really core of what the Oscars want to do is storytelling. And the argument could be made that the storytelling happens in the characters more than the actual stunts. Depends on the movie. But it is really about the characters, right? So this makes sense to me. Now, as much as I agree with you guys, this coming first is fine with me, because it just totally makes sense to the philosophy of what the Oscars are supposed to be. That's my thought.
If you want your voice to feel like it's been heard, watch the People's Choice Award.
So did anybody look at some of the People's Choice Awards?
Yeah, and I went, this is the most mainstream I saw one movie this year level picks.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit, I can't look at this. This is...
But American Fiera won for acting. I was like, fuck you.
And like, I kind of had a laugh at the ceremony because it felt like it was shot in a diner or something. There were like 100 people there. It was so small.
Oh, I just saw the winners.
Oh, no, I saw some of the ceremony. It was in the round with people sitting around it, and you could see to the back wall. I was like, well, this is a very small event. But again, that makes sense, though. It's more standard what people are into. I mean, I think I don't know. You guys might disagree with me, but I actually really think that a casting director is something else that's been long needed. Because when you have a casting director that works, they have to work such magic. There's some documentaries out there you can watch that feature the casting process. They have to work such magic to put together the perfect cast for some of these movies. And when they do, and you get that perfect ensemble cast, it's like just perfect. It's special. So I think it's amazing.
I think it's fine to add award. I mean, I'm fine adding more. Add plenty more, but it is definitely just highlighting that oversight of how integral stunts just continue to be in terms of Hollywood pictures, and not being recognized by the Academy just seems ridiculous. So I mean, I do kind of feel bad, because this should be more of a celebration for, and that's definitely what you're trying to do, Stephen, is kind of like, yes, good. Casting directors are getting their spotlight. They're getting their due. But it does kind of...
There's so many positions in the filmmaking process that aren't recognized, that need to be recognized.
And if you want to know more about those, Stephen has a TikTok series.
I have a whole TikTok series going right now about the different positions on a film crew, right? Yeah, that's true. There are others. There are other positions that do need to be recognized. And I would wager next year stunts get added. I would bet. Because it's so close.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like they've just been like, I don't know. Just add both.
I think
at the same time,
I have the suspicion that it's a huge process you have to go through to get one added.
I mean, at the same time, we're like, add this category, and then everyone complains about the length, and then everyone complains about we're making these awards, we're editing them down so we can have more time for bullshit where we talk and interact with the peasants.
Well, and I also think, to me, there's too many. Like, there shouldn't be 10 films for Best Picture. That's too many.
Well, you can thank Dark Knight for that.
I know, but it's too many. And that's part of the problem. Add more awards, but make it smaller.
Well, they said up
And
to
get rid of
10.
the
So if there's not 10 films, it could be 8.
Yeah.
But, I mean, goddamn, this year it really is kind of thin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, Maestro can go fuck right off, and
Well-
Barbie doesn't deserve to be on there, but, you know.
Exactly. At the end of the day, I'm the happy one. I'm glad they added casting director. I just know how hard it is, and I think it's amazing. And it is just focused so much on the talent. So I hope we get stunts next year. I think we will. I'm staying positive. I think we're going to get it. All right. So this is a killer week if you want to buy some movies and you're not spending all your money with Disney. New this week, Paprika on Blu-ray and 4K. Everybody keeps telling me it's good.
You need to see it.
I wish they would name it something good. Other
It's
than
good.
Paprika. All right, I'm going to watch it. Darkman is out in 4K. I love Darkman.
I need to-
I'm happy it's coming out. Beverly Hills Cop 3 movie collection in 4K, but why would you want that third movie? No one needs the third one. Then you can get Beverly Hills Cop 3 on its own if you so inclined. Leviathan is out on a 4K.
It looks good on a big screen.
It did. And then this set here I want. The Heroic Trio of the Executioners is a combo pack in 4K. That's a...
It's an SDR, though.
Yeah, I know. I like the movies, though. So that's cool. The Last Castle is out in 4K. And then Hanna-Barbera's Superstars 10, the complete film collection, is out also. And I think that one might have already sold out. People went crazy for it. But yeah, there's cool stuff. Go to Walmart. Still get plenty of stuff. Don't be freaking out about it. All right. We ran a little later than I was supposed to. I blew it.
Wow.
So let's wrap this
It's
big.
only an hour and 12. That's not too bad.
I got a ribeye steak waiting for me. You don't smell it?
Ah.
You don't smell it?
man.
That's what that is. Okay.
I don't smell it.
Well, it smells good, boy. All right. So where do we find you guys on the internet?
You can find me at nicholasqualls.com. Has all the links to social stuff. I mostly post socially on Instagram and Blue Sky mostly, but you can go to nicholasqualls.com to find the links to all that. Mostly posting short book reviews. Just read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. That got posted earlier this week. And currently working on finishing up a book called Blind Sight, which is kind of a future sci-fi thing that tangentially also has vampires. It's weird.
Nice.
You can find me on most major social media under Cheddar Popper. That is CHEDRPOPPR. Almost forgot how to spell it. I'm not posting much right now, but in the future, within a year or so, I'm hoping to post a lot more relating to book and book talk and book binding. So please follow me and get in on the ground floor.
Everybody go follow Tina. I need her up over 400 so she can go live with me on TikTok. Get to it. Zach?
Oh, you can find me. I'm on Instagram, Master of Matrix 91. You can also find me falling asleep here, standing up in real time.
Perfect.
You can also find me on Steam as well as Discord as a Dangerous Mute Lunatic, and on Letterboxd, Master Z91.
All right. Then you can find me at all things OTS Movies. OTS Movies on TikTok is probably the place I spend the most time. Off the Shelf Movie Night. OTS Movie Night is what it changed to now. Over on Instagram. That's really the two spots other than this show every week. Go over there and follow me. We're doing some cool stuff. We also have something cool coming up. We have our Oscar game coming up pretty soon. So that's going to be kind of a big deal. And then, of course, we will be doing the Oscar show live stream from here too. So that'll be fun. So go follow everybody. We'll see everybody next week.
Bye, everybody.